What is going on, Charger fans? Jake Silva, Charger Syndicate, here with you guys, doing a quick live stream recap of what happened today against the Kansas City Chiefs. If it is your guys' first time here up onto the channel, I encourage you guys, don't be afraid, don't be nervous, but smash the like, smash the sub. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button, keep you up to date on future and past live stream videos and more, getting you closer to your Los Angeles Chargers. All right, guys. We got to talk about it. You know for a fact we got to talk about it, and we got to be honest and straight and real about everything that we just saw today. Everything. Because it is frustrating. This was an absolute frustrating game. But what can we do? This team has got to learn with this one. They got to take this and they got to learn going into the bye week. Because at the end of the day, we lost. I mean, there were several things that should have been played better. Several situations that should have been capitalized. And we let those get away. Terribly, terribly unacceptable. That's no excuse for this. I mean, by far, we did not play our best football. Defense absolutely played their asses off. But yet Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid continue to show over and over and over and over again why they can't be beat. Over again. And they lost their top receiver, Rashee Rice. They lost their top receiver to a torn ACL. But yet we can't seem to defend Travis Kelce. We can't seem to defend Justin Watson. We can't seem to defend Xavier Worthy. Neither have we been able to stop Kareem Hunt. This was just bad. And I'll get more into the details from the box score, everything that we took away from the game. And we're going to explain more about this. Because this is an opportunity for the Chargers on the bye week to really think about what are the things that were good, what were the things that were bad and ugly, and what do we need to do better come the 13-week stretch. Honestly, this bye week is not looking as terrible as some of us thought it was. Because we lost both our tackles. They lost Joey Bosa. Didn't seem like it was too big of a deal considering the fact that Mac and Bud Dupree and Thule were all trying to play at their best. I mean, they tried getting pressure. And at the end of the day, Kansas City took advantage. They took advantage of it. There's nothing else that could be explained about that game. I mean, I know I looked at every Charger social media, every one of them. And most of them have Greg Roman's face posted. Most of them do. Because part of that, it almost felt like it was just a conservative game. Like it looked like that was exactly what the game plan looked like going into this game. I mean, yeah. Deion Spicer, bolt up, man. Appreciate you coming on by. Was good. That one guy, bolt up. Salute to you, man. Thank you guys for coming on in. Derwin's suspension is BS. Look at what Runted used to do. The Chargers need a new OC. Greg Roman sucks, and a fixed play calling, run game, and a broken interior offensive line. Why not use Vidal? Well, Vidal was actually inactive. He was inactive today. And that was part of the reason why that, like, we haven't been able to utilize him. I would love for them to do it at some point. At some point, I want the team to do that. Because I want to know with what we're getting off that draft pick. You know, it's... So now, after losing this game, how do we respond? Because we fought through it like tooth and nail. We fought through it. But it just wasn't enough. It wasn't enough to bring these guys down. So it sucks. Because the inactives that there were in the game was Junior Colson, our facilitator out on that defense. That was crucial. We didn't have our facilitator there at linebacker, which is a big loss for us. Vidal was inactive. Dean Leonard was inactive. Jasir Taylor was inactive. Both the tackles, Rashawn Slater and Joe Alt, were inactive, and so was Joey Bosa. But I'll tell you what, though. I was happy and glad that we at least saw Josh Palmer. We at least saw him up and in the game. We're at least seeing him this year, so I'm happy for it. Bro, I feel like the Chiefs were giving us the game. Why couldn't our offense score? I'm freaking bummed. That's exactly what it is. We could not capitalize on a lot of our situations, which is no excuse. And the other thing of it is, too, what pisses me off is that the fact that we won the time of possession game, and yet we lost. I understand that we're having to run the clock down, shed off the time so that Patrick Mahomes doesn't have enough time to do what Patrick Mahomes always does. And so we came up with a loss. There's nothing we could do but just move on. You take the game with salt thrown into every single one of the cuts. Feel that sting and feel that burn of how bad that is that we lose to a division rival like that. And you move on. You move on. You go into the bye and you refocus, you regroup, get these guys back to being healthy, because we're going to need that. Down the stretch of 13 weeks left, we need that. No excuses for it. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of our defensive guys were playing their tails off. Like, if you want a good look at it, think about it. Tareeb still came away with half a sack. So did Troy Dye. They both came in with a big-time, big effort in getting the sack. Khalil Mack had a pass defended. Thule had a pass defended. Atito Agbonia had a pass defended. Christian Fulton batted away 2 of them. And he came away with an interception today. We had no balls turned over. None. But we could not execute. We could not execute. That's unacceptable. And our run game absolutely was flat. J.K. Dobbins had 14 carries, 32 yards, 2.3 yards a play. Gus Edwards, 6 carries, 19 yards, 3.2. I just never understood why that we kept going to J.K. Dobbins each time when Dobbins was getting held up in multiple possessions. I don't understand why we didn't end up starting that off with Gus Edwards. Get our power back in there so he could basically provide a lot of that brute force to wear out this defensive line, and then you get J.K. Dobbins in there to be the bullet that runs through that D-line. I didn't understand that going through each of the game. Don't understand it. And by the way, Justin Herbert, 16 of 27, 179 passing yards, had 1 touchdown, no pick, and he had a rating of 91.4. I don't get it. Frustrating. Absolutely frustrating. Just can't begin to tell you guys. So I've got a bunch of I got audios for Jim Harbaugh, and I've also got audios for Justin Herbert as well. And they're going to explain a lot of this what went wrong. Here was Jim Harbaugh after the game.
Jim, what did you think of the way the team played tonight?
Respect. Respect for Chiefs, respect for our team, the way they play, the way they fought, the way they kept playing. I mean, you could use a bunch of guys as an example. I mean, Justin, he was doing everything humanly possible, and then some. Same with about the same for the other 47 guys that were dressed in this game. K-Mac, and Henley, DP, Gus, JK, everybody. It was nothing but respect for the way our guys played.
Is it frustrating to lose and the way you guys lost?
No, it is. I mean, you can't. Losing is not something you ever want, and whatever. Yeah, don't like to lose. But
your new home deserves.
I'll get through this real quick. There we go.
I'm not saying anything other than, I wish I could have done better for our guys. And I have nothing respect for where our guys played. And that's how I truly feel, deeply feel, exactly what I told the team a few minutes ago.
Coach, can you talk about the defensive effort your team put forth today?
Yeah, it was a great effort, great performance. Our defense got us to 2 turnovers and the stops, and it just played so good and played so hard, and that's all guys want to do. They just want to play, and they play. And when you play hard, it takes care of so many things, and that's what I thought our guys did today. Just respect.
Jim, when you say you felt you wish you could have done better for the guys, what do you mean by that?
Me specifically, the pre-snap penalties. We got to be better. I mean, I look at that as coaching, and that's something I can do better with. Have to do better.
Jim, with the penalties, did you see a through line there as far as what you can attribute those to?
The pre-snap penalties? Yeah. I mean, I look at penalties, it's in, it's under my responsibility.
Spags looked like he dialed up a lot more pressure after that first quarter. Trouble adjusting to that, or what they were kind of do to take away the short passing game?
It was pretty consistent the entire game. I thought we had some really good counters. The screen game was outstanding. I mean, like I said, Justin was. Got to get him just a little bit more time. But some of the throws he made, some of the plays he made were incredible. And so got to look at it how we respond, how we respond from here, and be like starting the season over again. We come back.
They've won 9 straight games decided by 1 possession. What makes them so good at finishing close games?
I mean, they play hard. They play hard. They play dialed in, and that's tough to get stops. But we were getting them. I mean, we feel like we're close. like I said, nothing but respect for them and for our team and the way they played.
Jim, the challenge, 3rd and 11 completion, just what went into that decision for you to challenge that play?
Yeah, that was just saw it on the replay board and was looking at it. Thought the ball had touched the ground. Saw the one hand come off and the ball touched the ground. Felt like it was big enough play to challenge and get ourselves organized on defense. We were having some headset issues, and I didn't feel like that call, like our call was. I didn't know. I didn't know if it was really being understood, that next call. So I decided to regroup and take a chance on that being a incompletion.
And then the timeout you took before the 4th down play.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that one. I wish I would have challenged that one. I really do. I think I could be better there. I thought he got touched down before the line to gain. I thought replay assist would get that spot right, and then my decision was to go for it or kick the field goal, and I wanted to. So I said, okay, I could take a delay here and kick the field goal because we were behind the clock on and getting organized for that 4th down call, or take the timeout and go for it. So I decided to take the timeout and go for it. Then started seeing some replays that maybe he did get a little closer. Maybe it was possible that he got the 1st down. And yeah, I wish I would have thought of just throwing the challenge flag, and it would have been the same result as taking the timeout. So yeah, I wish that would have come into my head.
So the indecision there was field goal versus going for it, as opposed to what play you were going to run.
Yeah, what play we were going to run. We were getting organized for that, and I just wanted to make sure that we had the time to think about it, and thought it was worth the timeout. But hindsight, if that thing was even close to actually being a 1st down, and replay assist didn't get it right, then yes, I wish I would have just challenged it in lieu of taking the timeout. So yeah, I can stuff I can do better at.
Was Josh supposed to slide down there? Did he lose his footing? Did you get a sense of what happened on the 3rd down before?
No, he was. That was not designed to slide down. No, I think the ball was where it was, and I think I don't know if he caught it clean. I think he tried to kind of go down to secure the catch. Is the way I saw it.
A bright spot on offense was Lad McConkey. He had 5 catches, 67 yards, and a touchdown. Can you guys just speak about his play today?
Yeah, it's nothing but respect for the way he plays. He is really, he's a stalwart out there. As
Darius Spires, bolt up,
he's
bro.
one of those guys.
Salute to you, man. Appreciate
He's
you for coming in.
He's doing everything he can ask, including blocking, and he's just doing everything in his
Guys,
power.
smash up those likes. Smash up the likes. Let's smash up the subs. We're trying to get to our goals all together.
The thought process there versus
all our goals, because it's a team effort. It's a team effort from everybody.
We felt that was our best. Jamari
Manuel, salute to you, bro.
had a lot of time on task at left tackle in his career. Pip felt more comfortable.
Let's get this
right
let's get the
tackle where
likes.
he'd
Let's
been
get the
playing.
subs. Let's get the
Zion
shares.
Bose,
Let's meet our goals here,
left guard and center. And
because we're talking about it
as we went
today.
through the week of practice, we felt Sam gave us the best opportunity at right guard.
And just as far as the pass protection overall, do you attribute that to penalties, getting behind the sticks, sort of disadvantageous downs and distances, or are there more to it as far as some of the protection breakdowns for you guys?
Yeah, we gotta get Justin another half second. We really do. He's trying to get the ball out as fast as he possibly can, and he is. And like I said, some of those throws that he made, it's I don't have the adjective for it. It's warrior-like. It's everything humanly power. everything within his human power and then some, is the way I look at it. I mean, it's incredible what he can do. And yeah, we do need to get him more. Just another second.
Are there ever moments out there where you sort of seem to get hit and hold your breath a little bit, or Justin?
So I'm going to bring up the Justin Herbert interview as well. But we had every chance to win this game. Defense gave us solid chances to potentially go on a run and go win the game. But our offense, like, without the tackles, was crucial. Like, it sucks when both Slater and Alt are hurt, and you can't even contain these guys for when the pocket collapses. So I've seen that. Ladarius mentioned our O-line. Our line will be back intact in a few weeks and we'll be okay. Props to the defense. They gave us a chance to win. Yes, they did. Our defense they were playing their asses off. And the one thing that, like, what's so disappointing is that when a defense plays better than the offense does, it becomes so frustrating that we cannot end up converting on, like, a lot of these plays. Like, we can't. And let me tell you something, because this defense, at the end of the day, is a damn good defense. It really is. And I just am like, the fact that we cannot capitalize on all that. Like, going into this game, we're the 6th best defense right now in the league. 6th best. And that was just giving up 3 touchdowns. Defensive yard averages was 267. And the Steelers were by far the best defense right now in the league. We're the 6th best defense, guys. We're top 10 defense. And Jesse Minter's doing everything up on his power to make it sure that the defense actually plays stopping football and give every single chance that they can to help our offense get into better field position and for us to get the offense to move and score points. And it's frustrating. It is beyond frustrating. And so we know that this is something that we know that the Chargers have to go into the bye week and they need to do better. Like, this is the kind that we know that it's an opponent in our division as a division rival that we cannot afford to lose to. We can't, but we can't win every single game. And so with Jim Harbaugh, he's taking this as the opportunity to now let that sink in and find ways to adjust. You have to find ways to adjust to it. You got to find ways to be better about the things that you thought should have been executed and didn't. So that's where you got to go into this bye week, and you got to literally refocus, retool, and fix up what went wrong. So here's Justin Herbert after the game in his press conference.
Justin, how did your ankle hold up well throughout the game today? We saw you limping a couple different times there.
Yeah, I thought it held up well. It took a couple hits, but for the most part, the integrity felt pretty good. So glad to make it through that one.
What did you think of the offense today? It seemed like that first drive, you guys were rolling, and then things kind of stopped there. Did you notice a difference there? What kind of happened?
I just have to execute on third down.
We got 4 likes, guys. Thank you so much for smashing the likes. Let's keep smashing them up. Let's keep hitting up our goals, guys.
If we're able to prevent those or limit those from happening, it's what you saw in the first drive.
And since you've been here, it seems like you guys are kind of you guys are in these close games, and somehow you guys end up on the wrong side of these one score games. Is that frustrating for you at this point, like to have another one score, loss?
I think there have been plenty of games, whether they're wins or losses, where they've been close games. That's the NFL, and so we're ready for that. And we fell short today. There's plenty of times where we can turn on the tape and see us come away with one or go score. And so we have to stay patient, understand that we got the right guys out there. We didn't execute, didn't go our way today.
Arsenal DB, bolt up, man. Thank you.
Next week, 2 weeks.
Hey, good
whatever it
game,
is.
man. Good game.
That's just the way the NFL is.
Appreciate you, bro.
Was the pressure of that?
It's tough. Kind of like we said during the
Tom,
week, they do a good
bolt
job
up,
of getting
bro.
after the passer.
Appreciate you
We
coming on
expected
by.
that. We knew that.
Pre-snap
And,
penalties
I thought we were prepared
unacceptable.
for it.
Absolutely, it is.
I got to do a better job of getting the ball out.
It's
quicker,
absolutely
with
unacceptable.
answers. I thought the offensive line did a great job stepping up and blocking and doing everything they needed to do. But it's definitely on us to be better at that.
Justin, on the broadcast at the end of the third quarter, sometimes they show like a bunch of like highlights and stuff. They showed a clip of you kind of slamming your helmet into the bench. Wondering if you remember that and what might have triggered that.
I wouldn't consider that a highlight.
Yeah, no kidding. A highlight? Are you serious?
Just the NFL. It's part of the game.
That's
emotion.
called frustration, bro.
Do you remember what play, or was there anything in particular that set that off?
I do not.
All the moved pieces, new pieces on the offensive line. Do you think that some of the pre-snap penalties, the penalties on offense, you can attribute some of that to just new pieces being in there up front?
Yeah, I feel like that would be the easy answer, but I think we've repped it. We've worked it all week. I think it's just one of those things where we got to stay patient. We got to hold our water and understand that, the cadence, we have to use that as a weapon. This front seven that we were going against, we felt like it was important to be able to hold them off, whether switching up the cadence, different cadences. Unfortunately, we had too many penalties with that.
So you feel like the cadence, what you were doing with the cadence might have impacted as far as the pre-snap penalties?
Yeah, I think it's just on us to lock in, to listen to the cadence and understand that we've repped these, we've practiced them. I can do a better job of communicating them, especially at the line of scrimmage. So I think it's on all of us.
Did you feel like you were able to unlock anything with Ladd today? He had some good momentum early on.
Yeah, I thought he stepped up big time today. He made a bunch of big plays, and he's one of those guys that we trust, especially if it's third down, first and second, you're looking to get him the ball. As soon as he catches it, something good is going to happen. And so the more times we can get him the ball, the better our offense will be.
First quarter was so good. After that, it kind of dried up a little bit. Did they do something different, take away some things, or was it just the game plan change, or just flow of the game?
No, I think it's just on us. It's executing on third down or fourth down if we're going for it. It's converting in the red zone and making sure that we're pushing the ball. Limiting those penalties like I talked about. And if you could put that together, that's the offense that we want to play.
Justin, if there was one play that you could have over, what play would it be?
I would have to take a look at the film. I think everything happens so fast, and you move on from play to play that you don't sit back and dwell. That's for tomorrow. That's when we watch the film tomorrow and look at it and be critical about it. But it's on us to be able to convert third down. So any third down that we didn't convert, fourth down, those are the plays that we'd love to have back.
Justin, what specifically about the Kansas City defense kind of challenges you guys the most?
They're a really well-coached team. We got a lot of respect for them, and they've got a lot of guys on that side of the ball that fly around. So it's on us to be able to handle their front seven, push the ball downfield, and keep running the ball.
Justin, we've seen you face pressure like this in a game before, and when your ankle's healthy, you've been able to escape and create. How much more difficult is it when you face a game like this where you guys are backed up, you're behind the sticks, you're facing pressure, and you don't have that outlet that you usually have to escape, or maybe it's not at the level that you typically used to?
Yeah, I think that's the important part where check downs and where your hot answers come in. If they are pressuring you, getting to the right protection, making sure that we're blocked up. And if that's not possible, it's finding your easy.
That O-line
it's
play.
the guys that are out in the flat, that they're not covering, that they're not immediately pressed on. And so I thought we had a good game plan. Working with the quarterbacks, talking with those guys, especially the game plan. I felt comfortable going into it, but it's just something that we can always be better at.
The fourth down in the red zone, what do you remember about that play? What were you seeing, and what's wrong there?
We unfortunately didn't convert.
Just a tough question, but why is it important for you to play today despite the ankle?
I owe it to those guys in that locker room. I know that everyone else in that locker room would do it as well. everyone's not feeling great. It's the NFL. It's a brutal game. But I know that I left everything I had out there. I felt comfortable. Our communication with the training staff has been great all week. But I know that all those guys in the locker room would do the same thing.
Did you have more protection on the ankle than you did?
I did. I did. I wore a brace underneath it.
And did that help you think?
Yeah, I felt I felt much more secure, stable. Obviously, it was a little more bulky, but I thought we did a good job protecting it.
Was there one reason in particular why the offense was not clicking today?
I think it starts on third down, converting on third down, and limiting those penalties.
I mean, you could think about it right from there. Justin Herbert is basically saying that. Like those pre-snaps those pre-snap penalties are unacceptable for this team. Unacceptable. And so every time when we get a false start or we have illegal formation, on a normal shift, and a lot of those, that becomes killers. Those become killers. And Tom, he explained it here up on this chat, and it's absolutely true. Pre-snap penalties is unacceptable. Bad O-line play, and he also goes on. Harbaugh said there were headset issues too. Yeah, there were headset issues, but even from that, our pre-snap penalties should not even look like that. It should not be. Last week, we had a lot of penalties that we needed to clean up. And we didn't do that today. We needed to do that one time today. That needs to be cleaned up. We had 9 penalties, guys. Sure, the yardages was only about half of the 100-yard. But that's 9 penalties, though, still. Could you imagine what the game would have been like if we had lessened the amount of penalties? Could you imagine if we only came away with 3 penalties in this game? 3? I feel like a lot of that is because that's everybody's mentality is getting tested from both offense and defense. And this is at home games. We can't be like this at home. I said this going into the game that my biggest feeling was that we were not going to come away with a win at home. The last few times that we've ever done that against the Chiefs in career, since Herbert has been on this team, in the last few times playing against the Chiefs, we have not played our best at home. We haven't. Because we haven't even came away with a win. We have only had 2 wins against the Chiefs, and they were both in Arrowhead. That was at a time when they already clinched the postseason, and we were nabbed the high-ranked pick. It was like top 15. So, and then the time at that point, that next year, and as close as the game was, and that was the one part where I almost had a little bit of a trust and a belief in Brandon Staley at that time, was when they literally played every bit of that game situationally to the Chiefs' strengths, and they came away with a big win in Arrowhead. But we just have never been able to come away with the win at home. And that's disappointing. At some point, we literally have to break that home winless streak. We have to break that streak. I mean, this is just by far unacceptable. Our defense playing their asses off. Offense couldn't even move the chains at all, whether it was on the ground or it was up and in the air. And we had pre-snap penalties at home. And we couldn't do nothing. This is where you know that literally hurt us. And listen, I got to give props to the guys that were stepping up as much as they possibly could. I got to give props to those guys, because the fact that we literally had that game as only a one-score possession, one-score game, without Slater, without Bosa, without a bunch of those guys. They played their asses off. It's just disappointing. It's disappointing to every extent. And so, not tomorrow, but Tuesday, I got to go into the AFC West roundtable, and I got to end up explaining it. I'm going to get every single heat. I'm going to get every single laugh. I'm going to get everything thrown our way, because you know what? It is unacceptable. We lost. We're on the table today. This team, I know, has heart, which is completely different in the last few years. This team actually has heart. Defensively, they're one of the top best in the league. Jesse Minter is doing everything at the right side of the ball. He's doing everything right on the defense. And I know, and listen, let me tell you something with Greg Roman. Let me tell you something. Greg Roman and everybody you already knows exactly how to run the football hard. And they constantly go with running plays. I get that. Okay? But I would have never have started out some of those gates. Like if you're at first down, second down, I would have at the very least have kept going. I would have given more carries to Gus Edwards. I understand that J.K. Dobbins has been showing up and he's been playing very, very well. But the whole idea of having both of these guys, was because you had a power back right there that showed brute force, that is able to bust through those lines and everything else. And then that allows J.K. Dobbins, a hard runner who we know that has been very explosive in 2 weeks, it would have allowed him to, at the very least, run efficiently. Lionel Turner, bolt up, man. Appreciate you for coming on by. Tom says, hard to move the chains when you're first and 15 to 20 every possession. It is. And that's exactly where the pre-snap penalties. Because every time when we get those penalties, look at what a 1st and 10 turns into. I mean, look at it. This is what it turns into. It turns into us having our backs against the wall, and then we are now having to set ourselves up to where Chris Jones and company up in that defensive front line ends up collapsing the pocket and ends up collapsing those holes, and we cannot do anything about it. Lionel mentions inside zone in the 4th when we need points and we can't run, and we are running behind a patched work O-line. Yes, exactly. And then go on to say Matlock is not hitting holes and paving ways for the running back. That's also another big point, too. The fact that we have Scott Matlock as one of our big guys, that is we put him there up in the fullback. And you know what's funny about that is that we haven't been able to get a brute force up front anytime that we need to end up opening up holes for the running back. And we haven't had that since Lorenzo Neal. You know how many times Lorenzo Neal would literally go up in some of those formations like that, even in I forms, where they would literally go in, O-line would try to spread the holes open, and then all of a sudden, there's Lorenzo Neal right from there where he's serving up as the extra blocker, the extra brute that's going to push that hole forward so that LaDainian Tomlinson could end up running efficiently. Think about that. I mean, that's one of the biggest things. Scott Matlock was put in this position and in this reason because he has enough brute force to where J.K. Dobbins or Gus Edwards could do that. And yeah, Herbert was on a 3-step drop all game because of constant pressure. So of course, and that's where you saw it up in you saw it at the break. That's the part that got Justin frustrated. That's the part that really pissed him off. So when you see Justin Herbert up over there throwing the helmet in the bench, you see him throwing the helmet on the bench, it's because he's pissed off. That is constantly happening. Those pressures are starting to come up. Our pre-snap penalties are starting to accumulate, and we're having to come backwards every time when we should be cleaning the penalties up and we should be marching down their throats. Think about it. This is also a team that caused the fumble. This is a team that threw a big-time interception to Christian Fulton. I'm really happy, though, that we were able to keep the possession on our side with that. But those are the possessions we need to take advantage of. And think about it. We only left 10 points in one quarter, the first quarter. But it should never be to a point where we start up and then all of a sudden we cannot figure things out late in the game. We have to be turning it up every single quarter. It's 4 quarters for a reason. If we're having to be that team that starts up hot in the first quarter and then all of a sudden we just fold by the second half, by like the third and fourth quarter, that's not going to get us anywhere. It's not going to get us anywhere. So, of course, like, this is the thing. We have one guy, we had somebody that, like, when I was doing the live stream and all that, where, and he asked me, he's like, how come you're not pissed when they lost the game against the Steelers? They were like, Jake, how come you're not pissed? How come you're not pissed off that this is exactly the same thing that the Chargers end up going at? I said, because it feels different. I'm not losing my head because we're facing against an AFC conference opponent that we may end up potentially seeing down the stretch if we make it that far. And I know that I'm getting my thoughts and I'm getting everything recollected into this week. This one. Because that's our division rival game. That's important. Now, we have to walk into the bye week knowing that Kansas City is 4-0, the Broncos are 2-2, and the Raiders are 2-2. This is a hard-fought division. So we have to walk into that with that on the back of our minds, with everything. Let's look at the box score once more. So Patrick Mahomes, 19 of 29, 245 passing yards, 8.4 yards per play, a touchdown and an interception, and he had a rating of 89. He didn't play up to his best, but that doesn't matter for the Kansas City Chiefs because the Chiefs are comfortable with where they're at. Yeah. I mean, that was one of the things that it was just like the Chiefs have become too comfortable because they realize it's like, regardless if they make mistakes and regardless if they do this and that, they're going to win a game. They're going to win a game because they end up winning a lot of those situational plays and a lot of those situational matchups. And that is the part that we cannot allow to happen again. The second time we face them in Arrowhead. It was not Mahomes' best game, but the best thing he could do was get the team in a better field position and get him the ball. That's it. Herbert, 16 of 27, 179 yards. He's starting to get up with the passing yards, but it's still not enough. He has not cracked the 200-yard mark, and I think that's where everybody's pissed off at, and including myself, because the fact that our passing game is not getting opened up enough. And everybody, and I've heard it from everyone on the outside, that this is why the Chargers are lacking weapons. This is why the Chargers are missing Mike Williams and Keenan Allen. Like Ladd McConkey, why are we not feeding him the ball enough? I thought Ladd McConkey looked great. He comes away with a tutty, and he also comes away with one of his best plays, yards after the catch, and he goes up for a big-time first down and more. Like, why are we not feeding him the ball? I can't get excited on this game when we always lose to the Chiefs and everyone else by one score. And that is frustrating. Every time we lose to the Chiefs are 8-2 against us. Do you know how frustrating that is? I know all of you guys because you guys are the loyal, faithful supporters of Charger Syndicate. But you guys are also the loyal, supportive fans of the Los Angeles Chargers. You guys all know how frustrating that is. But even for people up on the outside, they don't know how frustrating that this is. It pisses me off. And this is the thing. The run game, Kareem Hunt had 14 carries, 69 yards, 4.9 yards. And then Samaj P. Ryan, who is more of their situational back, had 5 carries for 14 yards, and he had a touchdown score rushing it up into the goal line. The only person that we know had made a mistake was Carson Steele, and that was when there was the fumble, and our defense ended up recovering it. So they took him out by the time that he made that occurrence, and then in comes Kareem Hunt. And Kareem Hunt ends up, he doesn't even crack himself the 100-yard mark, but rushing-wise altogether, they cracked 100 yards. With the runner by committee from 26 carries, they got 100 yards off us. Whereas J.K. Dobbins, and this is the thing, this right here, 14 carries, 32 yards, 2.3 yards averaged. But yet Gus Edwards, 6 carries, 19 yards, 3.2. Why were we not starting up with Gus Edwards and then getting J.K. Dobbins the ball? I don't get it. Not winning in a low-scoring game like today's and causing 2 turnovers is highly frustrating. Absolutely it is. They didn't play their best. They haven't even played their best for 4 straight weeks. Mahomes looks like a human being. And Travis Kelce, by the way, Travis Kelce was fed up the ball today. I want to see Vidal get in the mix. So do I. And this is the other thing. I felt like with Kaimani Vidal, we could definitely utilize him when it comes to a lot of our screen plays. The guy can run and catch. And I also do think that he should be utilized as one of our strong backs in the middle of it, because that should be our 3-runner set right there. Edwards, Dobbins, and Vidal. They shut J.K. Dobbins down. I just don't understand why that we kept going to J.K. Dobbins each time when he was getting shut down. And look at the difference between him and Gus Edwards. Gus Edwards was moving the ball down. He was getting us into position to where we can honestly try to convert those plays. I would have switched that up if I was Greg Roman. I would have switched that up to where Gus is getting more carries now because they haven't figured him out. And then I would get back to Dobbins whenever that D-line gets beat, whenever that D-line gets wore out. I mean, look at this. So when people think that Travis Kelce's washed or Travis Kelce's this and that I don't listen to because I never, ever doubt upon the Chiefs, look at him today. 7 catches, 89 yards. 7 catches. He was targeted 9 times. He got 7 catches. Knock it off with this narrative. That's the one thing about mainstream media. They're like, is he washed? Is he washed? He's getting old. Knock it off. This is Travis Kelce we're talking about here. This is the Kansas City Chiefs we're talking about here. They figure it out. Xavier Worthy, 3 catches, 73 yards, a tutty. And then Noah Gray. Another one. Noah Gray, 4 catches, 40 yards. So altogether, they had 19 catches for 245 yards in the air and 1 passing touchdown. That big one that Xavier Worthy hit. And which, by the way, I am not going to be complaining up on penalties because when it comes to that, like, think about it. There was that penalty that was on there was a penalty that was on the corner that was covering Xavier Worthy, and that ball was already over his shoulders and all the rest of it, and all it was just a simple trip up, but yet he slid into the end zone, making the catch. I never understood that, but whatever. I'm not just going to be throwing stuff and just saying like, well, the refs cheated us up on this game. No, not doing that. That is every single fan's cop-out. And listen, every faithful, loyal fan that's up and in this chat, you guys understand that when it comes to my mindset, I do not easily cop out and say that, well, the refs got everything wrong. The refs did this, the refs did that, because I don't, because all that is that's just spreading more excuse. That's putting me more into a deeper well of nonsense, and I don't do that here. I don't do that. Never surprised when people have breakout games against the ball. Exactly. I'm never surprised at that. That's why I'm like, every time when they say that, oh, this could be it. No. Kelsey would be, think about it. Kelsey probably would have taken at least like 3 weeks off and then comes into week 4 and then he ends up feasting. Ends up doing that. Now, receiving wise for us, for the Chargers, Ladd McConkey, 5 catches, 67 yards, 13.4 yards a play, and a tutty. Ladd McConkey is finally getting the ball. Give Ladd McConkey more of those targets. Because look at what the kid is doing after yards after the catch. The guy is putting together separation. He's putting together yards after the catch abilities to where he's making excellent cuts, to where he's beating a lot of these defensive guys that are trying to cover him. And not to mention, too, after catches where they're trying to knock him down, he's avoiding them. Josh Palmer, 3 catches, 36 yards. I'm so happy that Josh Palmer is healthy. That is the one thing that I'm happy and excited, that the fact that he comes back, gets at least 3 catches. It ain't much, but we have our other weapon there. J.K. Dobbins, 3 catches, 30 yards. Will Dissly, by the way, had 2 catches for 24. Like, Disley's being fed the ball pretty well. But it was not a good day for Quentin Johnston. 1 catch, 9 yards. Just couldn't find him. So, so Christian Fulton comes away with the fumble, and like he ends up fumbling, doesn't give it up. Justin Herbert ends up fumbling, doesn't give it up. Gus Edwards ends up recovering it, and so does Elijah Molden. No, he does. Josh, that was the other thing too, is Josh Palmer blocks very well for a receiver his size. Absolutely, Tom. That's one of the things that I think is also important for having a guy like that. The fact that at his size, he was blocking up those guys very, very well. And defensively for both guys, look at this. The Chiefs had 52 total tackles, 36 solos, 2 sacks, 5 tackles for losses, 4 passes defended, and 10 quarterback hits. 10 of those. Whereas look on our side, 63 tackles total, 36 of them solos, 3 sacks, 2 tackles for losses, 5 passes defended, and only 4 quarterback hits. 4. They had 10. That's because our O-line, we're working with whatever that we had, because we're missing Alt and we're missing Slater. And then Christian Fulton comes away with an interception. And we came away with a fumble and recovered it. Elijah Molden came away with it. Let's look at the team stats from here. Chiefs had 16. Sorry there, guys. Chiefs had 16 first downs. Chargers had 12. No way we should have lost this game. We had 12 first downs. Our third down efficiency, and this is what was big. They won 9 of 16 of those third downs. We only converted 4 of 13. 4. Our third down efficiency was not good today. 4 of 13. And they converted 9. 58 total plays. They had 329 total yards. We had 53 with 224. Our drives were only just about one less, 11 to 10, but yards per play, 5.7 over 4.2. You could see the difference in it. And think about it. There were 3 sacks with 17 lost yards and 2 sacks with 10. Rushing was 101 over 55. Our rushing got slowed down today. 55 yards. Running was not good today. Didn't mix things up. Red zones were both the same. 1 for 2. And penalties, they had 5 for 40 yards. We had 9 for 51. A lot of those were pre-snap penalties. Illegal formations, false starts, holdings. What the hell? That last week against the Pittsburgh Steelers, I thought we would have cleaned this up. Nope. Same penalty result, different game. Same one. And the funny thing is, we outplayed them with time of possession 30-52 over 29-08. But we lost. This is frustrating, guys. Absolutely 100% frustrating. No way we should have lost this game. Exactly. No way. They didn't even play their best football today. They lose Rashee Rice to a torn ACL, which it's very possible he may be out for the year. Like, something is wrong with the interior O-line as well. And, and it's so funny, Tom, I'm so glad that you bring this up, honestly. Let me pin this one up. He says it too. We need a center badly. You know what's funny about that? I really thought that in one of the picks, because knowing Jim Harbaugh, who wants to make a protective offensive line, if we did not end up getting Ladd McConkey, I thought we would have got Jackson Powers Johnson. I really thought we would have gotten JPJ, because look at him with the Raiders. I really thought that that was the deal. I was to a point where I was a little bit expecting it. So, so now our interior O-line right now, our interior O-line is not playing at its best. It sucks. The whole interior. And that was the thought about it. Is like, when I broke down the whole draft, because to be honest with you, I still love the pick that we have of Joe Alt. No, I'm never taking that away. When I did the pre-draft sets, I was thinking of a few options, because the things that we needed going into the season was we needed a tight end, we needed an O-lineman, whether it was a tackle, it was an interior, it was a center. We needed either one of those for offensive line. We needed a D lineman. We needed a linebacker, and probably some weapons here and there. Because what's funny is I was also doing a lot of hypothetical trade packages. Where if we were up and into the draft, we would have been shifting a bunch of spots. And what's funny about that is we would have been getting to the point where we would have taken Joe Alt, and then all throughout from the second all the way down, we would have got an overhaul of draft picks from those changes. And what's funny is, like, I had JPJ on those spots. I would have also have had different receivers. Like there could have been chances where we would have gotten Adonai Mitchell. We probably would have gotten Keon Coleman because of just the value and the spot that he was up and in. But that's that. I really seriously thought that we would have maybe gotten a center, but what that was telling me the second we got Ladd McConkey, which I am not disagreeing with the pick at all, because we know that we needed offensive receivers, we needed weapons. Look at how much that we're missing right now at center. Look at that. Something is wrong with the interior O-line, and I don't feel it's Zion Johnson. Agree 100%. I wanted JPJ if Ladd was not there. Absolutely. I miss Corey Linsley so bad. So do I. And you know what's funny about this is when I looked at this O-line, let me see if I could bring up this O-line, like the look of this. And I want to show you something. So let me see if I could find the shape on the O-line. Maybe it'd be better if I looked at the depth chart. All right. So here is our O-line here. So when I look at this with Rashawn Slater out, SoCal Slimes, bolt up, salute to you, man. Corey, man, with the broken heart. Yeah, absolutely. I miss Corey Linsley for this reason. So let's look at this. With Rashawn Slater out, on the left, we would have Foster Sorrell and Tyler McClellan. Tyler McClellan is on the IR, and there was Foster Sorrell. Zion Johnson and Jordan McFadden, Bradley Bozeman, Braden James, Sam Mustipher, Bucky Williams is on the IR. Trey Pipkins in the right guard, Jamari Salyer on the right guard, and then there's Joe Alt at right tackle. And what's so funny about that is because I was happy at the fact that they put Trey Pipkins at the right tackle because he played that position before. He's played that. So I'm glad that they finally figured that out, that Trey has played right tackle before. But here's the other thing. Why was Jamari Salyer on the left tackle? Why would you put Jamari over there? That's the part I didn't like. I liked a bit of the shapes from like the right side, but I did not like some of the shapes from the left. And everybody up front in that interior looked terrible. Like the only way I would have played this is you have Zion there in the left and he's doing everything that he can. I would have probably have put Jamari Salyer right there up and into that either into the right guard position, and I would have tried with Foster Sorrell or even with Jordan McFadden, one of those guys. That's what I would have tried. That's what I would have played. Our run game is going to continue to struggle without better interior O-line play. I agree. There's a part of me that I'm holding my breath up on that one, Tom, and respectfully, because of the fact that we do have those guys. I don't understand that. Never understood it. And he played well his rookie year for Slater. Yeah. And Salyer was raised higher his rookie year than Zion with Tyler playing right tackle. Yeah. So it just tells you, though, too, because initially this team, we know that this is more of a retooling year. We're 2-2 right now, going into week 5 with the bye week, and we have a lot of things that we have to retool, refigure out, and we need to get better at a lot of these situational plays. But we also have to shape up this O-line the way that it was meant to be played, because last time I remembered was we had Jamari into the interior, who I thought did a fantastic job being there in the interior. Trey Pipkins, this is what I've said about it. If we were going here with Alt on the right and Slater on the left, Joe Alt, by the time that Rashawn Slater was hurt last week against Pittsburgh, they should have moved Alt to the left, because Joe Alt has played left tackle before, and I understand it because it was the one-on-one situation against TJ Watt. But you know what? It would have protected up on that side, because we could not contain it after once he went down, and that's where it initially changed that game plan. I would have probably put Joe Alt there at the left, made sure the left was still good, and I would have put Jamari Salyer up into the right guard position with Trey Pipkins at the right tackle, and you would have had McFadden or Brennan James in the interior. I don't understand. That's the whole reason that we have depth. That was the whole reason that we ended up buying up to a lot of this depth. So I don't understand why that we weren't putting these guys up in at least the best positions. But this is the thing, though, is that when a guy goes down, ask yourself, do you want to continuously get your ass kicked on the one side that you lost the guy? Or would you play patch-up work, move the offensive line, and putting the right guys in some of those positions that you know that can defend to give Justin Herbert more time? I will worry about that stuff later. But when it's right now, this is what we have to do. That's for the right now. Not for what I'm going to worry about later on, because I will worry about that later on. I'm worried about right now. So even if it's disrespecting Rashawn Slater, I want to win a football game. That's what this is. You drafted Joe Alt because you know you wanted to solidify the right tackle, which I can understand that. And again, I'm not disregarding that at all. I can understand the thought process going into that, because now we have 2 legit tackles up on both sides. And not to mention, everybody can shift into positions that they have played before. Joe Alt has played left tackle in college. So even if Slater went down with that injury earlier, I would have moved Alt over there to the left so that they could solidify that and help him there. And then Zion is fine on the left guard position, and then I would have had Salyer in the right interior guard and had Trey Pipkins there on the right tackle, because Pipkins has played right tackle before. It's crazy. It's crazy. I'm sure 2-3 O linemen will be in workouts this week. They probably will. If it's got to take an extra week, they probably will. And they should. Because if you really want to get the best out of this O-line, you got to put these guys in the right spots. You really do. Now, the questions I really have is this. When are we going to start seeing Kaimani Vidal come up and play? That's one guy that we haven't even gotten a chance to see yet. Now, we have Hassan Haskins, but I haven't seen much of play from him. I know that he is a Michigan guy, and Jim Harbaugh loves his Michigan kids, but this is also, too, why we picked Vidal. There was something there to him that we really liked, that we think could be very valuable. We know DJ Chark, I believe when he was hurt up in week 1, I think it was like 4 weeks they said he was going to be sidelined. If I'm not mistaken, if you guys can correct me to make sure that that's accurate, let me know, please. But I thought it was like 4 weeks or so that DJ Chark would be out. So maybe we'll see DJ Chark in week 6. But the other thing of it is, too, is we have Brandon Rice and Simi Fehoko that are up and on this roster. Now, we have seen Simi Fehoko literally play. He's been playing special teams, and he's also been playing a bit up on offense as well. And I'm so happy we saved a roster spot for him because the guy deserved it. Guy worked hard. And then Brandon Rice, I thought at some point we might actually see something of his, but I have not seen that yet. But that has been my biggest question mark is when it comes to this O-line. We have so many depth about it. This week has to be the week that we work them out and we make sure that they're put in the right spots. Listen, I will deal with the disrespect later. Slater is obviously our left tackle. There's nothing is going to take away from that. Nothing. And Joe Alt is our right. But I would have been comfortable that if either of those guys went down, put Sawyer in the right guard, Trey Pipkins at the right tackle, and then you would have probably put, especially up into this game, you probably would have put Foster Sorrell up over there in the left tackle position if you had to, if that was where things were getting forced. But I know Sam Mustipher, he was put in today. I am just looking at some of the things that probably could have ended up different. And that's all I'm looking at. O-line needs to clean themselves up. We need to stop with these pre-snap penalties that are killing us. Vidal is a mix of JK and Gus. Right now, with the interior O-line issues, I will take the 5'8", 215 guy, get lost in the mix, and break holes. Yes, that's exactly how I would think about that as well, too, because he's experienced in that, and he is a guy that can withstand plays like that. He can withstand those types of plays. I could see that to where I agree with it. I do. But here's the other thing I also got to show you, too. Okay? Here's another thing I want to show y'all as well. Let me let me get this shared real fast because I want to show y'all this. If this doesn't fire you up and this doesn't light you up, I don't even know what to tell you. But let me show you this right here. Right here. That several times. That right there is exactly how I would feel when I'm getting constantly pressured. We're constantly getting beat in situations, and we are constantly not taking advantage and converting on plays that we should, and we are letting our defense down. Let that be motivation and juice today, guys. Let that be motivation. When you watch Justin Herbert literally throw a helmet like that, and it is against that bleacher and against that whole spot, oh yeah. It is very inspiring, Lionel. Bolt up or shut up is exactly the fight and the motivation we should be screaming out every single week. Bolt up or shut up. If you're not going to be willing to bolt up in a lot of those areas, then go sit down and shut up. That's exactly it. Yeah, Kamani was not even, he was inactive for today's game. He didn't even suit up. So that is, that was the thing. And I kind of knew that. I was like, he's not injured. He's not any of those things. He was just not even suit up. He was just inactive today. But that is the kind of thing that needs to be when we're in that huddle. Like, think about it. Picture yourselves up and in the huddle with this team. Okay. Imagine being up in Justin Herbert's shoes. You're up and in that huddle. You're getting everybody together. The battle cry that needs to be every single week against every single opponent, both AFC West, AFC, NFC. Bolt up or shut up. Defense is doing that. Why isn't the offense feeling the same way? You cannot execute. You cannot end up coming away with those kinds of plays. Then go sit down and shut up. Because I'm not going to be here for it. That's not how this team plays. That should not be our identity. Our identity should be bolt up or shut up. You come into this organization, you come into this offense or defense, and you go and you play your ass off. But at the end of the day, Herbert's getting pressured with that high ankle sprain that we know he feels better at, but we're letting him down because we can't seem to protect. We're also letting down the defense because the defense is holding up Patrick Mahomes several times, and we are not converting. That's 2 straight weeks of 10 points. 2 of them. I think it was due to player spots. That's why he was inactive. I think it was because it was the player spots. That's why they listed him as inactive. So I'm sick of this. I'm sick of losing to these damn guys. It's the worst feeling when you're losing to a division rival opponent than you are of losing to everybody else. Yeah, and not to mention starting 2 drives within the 5. That's frustrating. And a 5-yard line, and you can't even convert. You can't even put points up on the board. I mean, at the end of the day, like, we should have taken the points. I don't care. You have to take the points. Take the points if you cannot convert, because defensively, they are going to shut us down because they don't want us to score. They don't want us to stay in this game. That's initially what that is. You take the points, but this is also the takeaway. So I'll give you my guys' final thoughts before we wrap this up. So my final thoughts is that we did not play good situationally today. We did not. We let the defense down. Our pre-snap penalties killed us. We had 9 of them today, and I thought we would have cleaned up these penalties after last week, and we did not. We failed, okay? We also failed at the fact that we still were allowing pressure, which I understand. This is why that losing Slater and losing Alt was hard for us, okay? It was hard. Losing those guys, it was frustrating. But we still have to have the mentality of the next man up. But the other thing is, too, what's frustrating is that we are within the 5 and we cannot seem to convert in multiple of those areas. But the other thing that was a takeaway, why would we challenge a play that you already knew was going to be a catchable ball? Why would you challenge a play? I can understand, too, where he was coming from, where if that left arm is what he was looking at, was the left arm tucked underneath or was the left arm pushed to the side, and then that's when the ball was hitting the turf? Clearly, it was a catchable ball. Why would you give up a timeout for that? I would have let that play go because that is not the situation I'm trying to win. The situation I'm trying to win is the ones that we know that we need to in the fourth quarter. Fourth quarter. What the hell? A couple years ago, we could have scored, but the defense couldn't stop a runny nose. Now, we don't give up many points, but can't score. So, yeah, exactly. So, you know what this is? This is the exact kind of replication of a pendulum swing. Have a higher power offense that outweighs the defense. Like, seriously, we have more high-powering offense and a crappy defense. Now, this year, we have a high-powering defense, but yet we have a crappy offense. Notice how those pendulum swings constantly are, and we're not like this. We're not like this, balanced. Balanced. Because when the defense feels more like this, look at how much conservative that we have with offense here. We were like this the last 3 years. More on offense, terrible on defense. Frustrating. Inside zone run plays in the fourth was my biggest takeaway with reminded me as Bob Ross. Old school is old school, but this transition will take time. It is. Listen, I am happy at the fact that we have a culture setter. That's the best way that I could put this. I'm happy at the fact that we have a culture setter. I am happy at the fact that we are getting into a point where we're no longer looking like that cheap organization that doesn't want to pay a coach for $15 million per year and not get it right. And let me tell you something about this is that I love having Greg Roman as a running type of coach, but I at the offensive coordinating position, that's where things get a little bit shaky because at the same time, when you look at it, because look back to my optimistic self thought that this could potentially become like the 2019 Baltimore Ravens when Lamar Jackson went on his MVP run. He was spreading the ball around to everybody. But nope, that's not the case. We're running the football efficiently, and we're running that all the way through, but our interior O-line is beat up. And, and that's what causes our run game to fold. But yet we can't seem to be feeding Ladd McConkey the ball more often. We can't seem to get Quinn Johnston in some of those areas, but yet we're going to continuously throw a lot to some of our tight ends like Hayden Hurst and with Will Dissly, which I have no takeaways from there from what Will Dissly's been able to do when it comes to short pass game plays. But why are we throwing so many short game passes? Short pass plays. Why are we constantly doing that? All game long. I understand if we need a first down, we need to keep the possession up on our side, but don't be afraid to take a swing over the fences. Don't be afraid to. And I think that's the part that's frustrating. That's why Justin Herbert hasn't even cracked 200 passing yards yet. In any game he has started this year, in 4 weeks, he has not. So that's what it was. Kamani was working through something. Okay. That makes sense. Thank you, Tom, for clarifying it. But we got to go into this bye week and we need to be prepared for 13 straight weeks. 13. To take this away, Chiefs are 4-0. Chargers are 2-2. Raiders are 2-2, and the Broncos are 2-2. After the bye week, they come to here, where we are, in Denver. I live in Denver. I live in Donkey Country today. I live in Donkey Country. And listen, it was a life change for both my wife and I. She's originally from Colorado. I love it here. I love the fact that I could breathe better than my hometown of Las Vegas, which is, as you know, they're always sprinkling silver and lac dust up over there. That's why they got the big Roomba out there. Thank you, Lionel. I appreciate it, man. First timer watching the show, and you're doing great, bro. Well, I appreciate you, Lionel. Thank you so much. If you guys haven't done so already, like, subscribe, hit the bell button, guys, and share this out to every Charger fan that's up out there because this needs to be said. The news has to be spread about this. We need to get Charger fans all together and get this up. Because let me tell you something. Tuesday, I'm back in the AFC West Roundtable. And you bet your ass I'm going to be talking about it again Tuesday. Again. Michael Darcy up over there, which kudos and respect to him. What a great game from him, from KC Sports Report. Love the guy. He has great insights, great takes. I know he's going to be laughing. And I got Graphic Raider up over there. Raider fan. Great Raiders content creator. He's the reason I have the opportunity of chopping it up with the AFC West Roundtable. Great guy. I got to hear it from him. Ben for Denver Sports, great guy. diehard Bronco fan, great stuff. I gotta hear it from everybody. I gotta hear it from everybody. Because this week it's 3-1. I'm going to be the one that everybody's going to be feeling a little bit bad for. I'm going to be the one that's going to have to be taking the shit talking all together. But you know what? My skin is calloused. My skin is calloused. I'm thick-skinned from where I come from. You take a win, you take a loss. You take it. That's the way it is, because that is what's going to make you better. Hope Bosa doesn't have an injury during the bye week. Seriously. But this is also plus the reason that we drafted Thule in the first place. Appreciate you, Lionel. Come out to the Bolts-Ravens game. You know what? I'll try to. I really will. Yeah, I know. I'm tired of I'm tired of him being injured as well. Like, that's the thing, man, is like, that's the reason that Thule was drafted in the first place, being his replacement, because I know that he was going to be a guy that constantly was going to be injury riddled. And he was going to be a guy that, wasn't going to do much for us the more and more that he keeps getting injured, and he's gotten the contract that he's given. So that's why I'm like, hopefully we come up stacked up and we come up good. Exactly. He's so good to start with, and now he's becoming so disappointing. Sucks. It's hard. But anyway, I'm wrapping this up, guys. Got to get some good sleep. I got to sleep on this one. But we go into the bye week. Let's refocus. Let's get our stuff together. And let's be prepared for when the Chargers come out here to Denver against the Denver Broncos, because Bo Nix only threw for like 1 touchdown pass today. So I'm not even afraid of this offense here. And they just beat the Jets 10-9. So not afraid of it. We got to get prepared for that. I know defensively they're ready to play, but we got to play them against this altitude. So let's regroup, let's retool, let's refocus, let's get our shit together. Okay? And let's be prepared for the Denver Broncos week 6. Appreciate you guys for all coming up on here. Like, subscribe, hit the bell button. Let's meet our goals, guys. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. We're also trying to get our views up as well so we could get this channel monetized, because it ain't just me that I'm striving for this. All of you guys should want to strive for this as well, because you are the reason that this channel becomes successful. And this is all for you guys. I appreciate and I love every single one of all of you guys. For the Chargers, for Bolt Up, for the Bolt fam all out there, far and wide, nationwide, international, wherever you guys are. I appreciate every single one of you guys. You guys are the best, man. Appreciate you. We don't beat Bo Nix. I'm blowing a gasket. Don't crash out, bro. Don't crash out. Thanks for your efforts, bro. Good show, and you'll see me around. I appreciate that, Lionel, man. I appreciate you coming up in here. Love to see your face around here up into the chats. Tom, same with you, man. Appreciate you. One of the best, man. So appreciate all of you guys. Take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. And we shall see you guys. I will have more videos up. And even when I do a little hangout live stream as well, as we're kind of breaking down some stuff. But let's get together. Let's get refocused. Let's get healthy. And let's go make a run. Bolt up or shut up for the next 13 weeks. Appreciate all of you guys. We'll see you later.